Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab, in the book. We about to do some work today. I'm in teaching mode, so let's get this party started. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment. I whacked my knee, sorry, I'm going through a little pain here. But, discipline daily help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? Oh, you will when I get through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. You know how we do. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. Hey, too. Mayat, be true. This is going to be a touchy subject, but it is what it is. Right thinkers, let's talk about being true of speech and how important it is to speak the truth, aka from the heart, Maakheru. Okay? If your boy who spoke Maakheru, he'd still be here speaking. Neither did. They have the big, I ain't getting involved in that. I can't say don't touch it. But this is one of the speaking engagements, so I got to, get a little jabs, a little bit. But I speak Maakheru, the truth. I don't have to berate, disrespect, or bring down nobody to make my point or to tell the truth or teach you. So that's what I do. I ain't got time for that. So let's go. Let's talk about true of speech. This thing here is a double-edged sword. It can help and it can hurt. Let's go. And anything that's good has both sides. The serpent that y'all think, no, the serpent can hurt or it can heal. The same venom that he poisoned you with, they use the same venom to cure you. Just want to put that out there. Again, he got the cure for both. So, but that thing here, this mouth, let's talk about that. Because it's important. Sometimes it can cost you your life. The symbol of the mouth is a grave importance in our ancient Egyptian mystical wisdom, particularly in the philosophy of Maya, aka right thinking philosophy. Your mouth is the symbol of consciousness. If you think before you open it, the right things will come out. And it is the mouth which you use in two of the most important mystical teachings or ancient ritual ceremonies of ancient Egypt yoga. The creation and the opening of the mouth ceremony of the book of coming forth by day. At depth, you need somebody to speak for you. So it's called open the mouth ritual. It's another lesson, but right now that ain't what I'm talking about. But the idea while you're alive, your mouth and what you speak is important. What come out of your mouth, and it should come from here. Consider the following. When you think of anything, you attach what? Words to the thoughts. You think in words, okay, and diagrams is what it is. But in fact, it is difficult to think without words. I use numbers personally. Some of us like pictures. I'm a picture man too. So therefore, words are the symbols, okay, the purpose, which all human mind uses to group thoughts in their mind. and which constitute intellectual forms and understanding. However, thoughts are conditioning instruments. Okay, that means it's used for what? It means that when you think, you are actually differentiating. Remember the noon? Nothing differentiated, all possibility, potential, but nothing chaos. Okay, a mind in chaos, an idle mind at the devil workshop. So that's what I'm telling you. An idle mind, non-differentiating. But now the differentiating process of thinking will allow your mind to now be conscious or come aware of what said differences in matter. We know the difference between a chair, a light, different things, objects, okay? And it labels these differences with different names based on the form or said function of the object or the relationship it has to it. We know cars drive, we mind. The mind now learns to call objects. When that little baby, we started to learn, that's that, yeah, da, mama. We started identifying with things, the eyes see it, the mind take it, put it, differentiate it, know what it is, okay? For example, a chair is an aggregated or a matter just like a rock. However, the mind has learned through teaching to call a particular name to associate with the name chair, not rock, which a particular king or object, which looks in particularly a way in which serves a particular function. We know everything has a name, everything has a function. We understand that. Moving on. But when the mind, this thing right here, when the mind goes beyond the words, now it's going beyond your thoughts and thereby experiences what they call undifferentiated consciousness. Meaning you're going to the highest level where anything is possible, nothing going on, but you can surmise whatever you want or conjure whatever you want. And this is the deeper implication of what they call the opening of the mouth ceremony. It signifies opening one's consciousness and your memory of your undifferentiated state of mind, because although at the lower state of spiritual evolution, consciousness appears to be differentiated, so we know the difference, but the underlying essence is undifferentiated. And when intuitional realization, when your mind starts to become intuitionally realizing, that's called what? Spiritual enlightenment. You become aware of everything going on. And when spiritual enlightenment dawns in the human mind, what happened? Words are no longer viewed as differentiating instruments. Why? But they're merely as practical instruments for the spirit to what? Operate and communicate, to interact with the world through a human personality. The mind and the spirit needs the body to interact and to do what it needs to do. So this is the difference between a human being who is spiritually enlightened, aka a right thinker, and one who is caught up in the state of what? Ignorance and egoism. Two different people. Two different ways of thinking, two different concepts, and going to be two different results. But depending on this thing, we'll decide which way you fall. If you're a BS talker, my mom said, baby, you got the gift of gab from your old man. But my old man was a BSer. He was smooth, slick, articulate, but he was all full of crap. I know that. They just didn't know that. And my mom didn't either. So, she's a Monday morning quarterback. But when you realize something after the fact, that don't serve you. Preventive measures is what you want to be. And when the spiritual enlightened people, we know how to prevent those things from happening. Moving on. Speaking the truth. Some people, it's hard to do. Lie, deny till I die. And he did just that. He was true to the game. He took it to the limit. Okay? If you're going to be down like that, be down like that. I got no problem with that. If that's what you do, that's what you do. To the end. Don't change now. I made a better decision with my life. That's all. And again, by speaking the truth from this thing here, it is an important spiritual technique in art. And it should be mastered and only used wisely and compassionate and empathetically. I'm about to run because that's how I operate, with empathy and compassion before I come out my pie hole. I took an oath personally that if what I'm going to say to my loved ones, friends, is not going to be good, I won't say nothing. I made that personal. Why? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want to be. That's why I can take that point and make that difference for myself. And ain't nobody none the wiser. 3 months now. So go to share what kind of people I'm around. Those who do not speak out against evil. First of all, I don't have to do nothing but just speak about it. I got to talk about that clown we got as a president. Why? He's evil. I'm going to speak about it. I don't like it. I'm not going to like it. And I'm going to do what I can every chance I get to let it be known. So again, when you speak out against evil under the misguided notion that, oh, I'm nonviolence, that means you're complicit. You don't want conflict. Or also you're part of negativity and AKA the problem. If you see a problem and you ain't trying to solve the problem, you're part of the problem. I see lack of knowledge, knowing ourselves as a problem for my people. I'm here every day trying to help that problem. So you can say what you want. I back up what I say. Do you? Or worry about the problem? No, you part of the problem. Solve you. Start with you. Excuse me. I'm a good person. But when you speak out, it is an expression of spiritual strength, and I'm not weak at all when it comes to being spiritual, and wisdom. I know when and what to say, which do not require violence. I want a revolution. It ain't got to be physical. I want a spiritual revolution. And negativity, I'm against that. Emotionalism, I'm against that. Animosity, I'm against that. And hindrance, those qualities are hindrance to what we call good speech. I don't come in here and rag. I will use examples of people for what they do, how I observe it. I'm not here making it personal about nobody. That ain't what I do. That ain't speaking Maakheru. I speak the truth. And sometimes the truth is about you. It ain't personal. It's just about what I see about you. That's all I can speak on. Again, and that's what I do. But speaking is an art, to be performed graciously, respectfully, and when it will do the most good, not the idle talk or for what, showing off to others or to those who do not wish to listen to what you got to say. I have a platform. I'm not getting a bullhorn. I'm not going to nobody's neighborhood. I ain't going nowhere but right here in my lab and make my point the best I can from this point of view. I ain't got to worry about nobody assassinating me, grabbing me, whatever. Again, I speak, but I speak the truth. So I don't make enemies. Hopefully, you can hate, but I ain't did nothing against nobody. Moving on. I'm speaking the truth. And even if it's about you, I speak the truth about me and him. Sorry. Speaking the truth is important. If you're going to teach or you're going to lead anybody about something, you should speak the truth. And the main thing, if you're not living it, you can't speak it. I sure can't teach it. I love what I do. Why? This is what I do. Teach you how to be what? Your best self, or to know yourself. Truth should be and constantly chasing after what? Whoa. Speaking the truth should not be used, when it will only serve to hurt people. When I come here to rag on somebody, I'm just making a point. I ain't here to do nothing to you but make a point. Hope you get the lesson and learn and change. If what you're doing ain't right, and somebody tell you, don't get mad at the person who's telling you, how about changing? So they can't say those things about you. That's what I did. Moving on. A person becomes weak when they are constantly chasing after their egoistic desire. They'll do anything for the pleasures, for the money, for the whatever they want to get. They'll pretty much do anything, a.k.a. sell their soul, And they sure won't speak Maakheru. They'll do everything but tell the truth. They'll lie. Therefore, having spiritual strength and the willpower to what? Resist and fight against unjust, wrong people. Violence increases when what? There is self-control. When there is, wait a minute, whoa. Therefore, spiritual strength, courage, and will, power to resist and fight against injustice every day. And again, violence. I don't advocate that at all. Self-defense, yeah. Violence, no. Okay? So understand that I'm going to defend myself. No, I'm not going to go that far. I can tell my pastor, my man, I'm not allowed. No, I'm not going out that way. Simple as that. So I'm old school. But when you fight against injustice and violence, this increases what? When there is self-control, inner peace, and self-discovery of what? Oneself. You'll be a better person. You won't get involved with all the nonsense. I don't. I see it. I ain't got to get involved with it. I know about it. I ain't got to entertain it. Again, to be aware of what's going on around you is one thing. But to get involved with something that ain't serve you is a waste of time. That guy respectfully lost his life. But because you can't be a racist and then because you don't like taking because you raised somebody that didn't agree with your rhetoric that it was very harsh and disrespectful and all that. But you can't make him a martyr all of a sudden that he's a great man. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. His rhetoric was violent, disrespectful, and obnoxious. So let's call it what it is. I ain't one of them people to sit here and try to candy coat. No, I ain't with that nonsense. And other stuff, I ain't trying to touch that. Get out of there. I leave that be. Again, I speak Maakheru, so I don't have that problem. If you don't like what I say, that's fine. You ain't gonna worry about it. But I'm not here to do nothing but teach, elevate other people toward higher levels of spiritual enlightenment for themselves. That's why I ain't got to downgrade and disrespect people to do that. Let me wrap this up. Meditation in the discipline of Mayat philosophy. I got a nice little page and a half of information. Just enough time to get this one in. I was going to have to make 2 shows, but now I can just make it all 1 show. Because that idea of speaking the truth, you have to speak the truth in order to what? Get people to pay attention, listen to you. Anything else, you run the risk of that happening. They didn't like Malcolm's rhetoric. They didn't like Martin's rhetoric. Okay. But we was fighting for something. You was just being obnoxious. No, get out of there. I'm making it personal. I didn't like the guy. I watched him, and I said, I want to punch him in his face. I ain't saying kill him, but I want to punch him in. Why? Because, dude, you obnoxious God like you need to get punched in the face. But y'all give him a platform, and look what happened. And y'all ain't going to still push that dynamic. Y'all still going to push it. First of all, he lied about the 57% black people in prison. Okay, we got more white people committing crime than black. We got more black people getting exonerated and got more black people being locked up for crime that they didn't commit. Those are issues you don't want to talk about. You want to skew the idea. 13% black people, 15% of the world, they call it 58%. No, it ain't. You're lying. And because them college kids don't know that, they can't rebuttal you or rebuke you. So you look stupid. But I could. But we won't have that argument because we ain't worry about it no more. Moving on. But y'all got another one coming. I'm sure somebody gonna come in and stand up and I always beat him down too. We ain't got to shoot y'all, just embarrass you with your own nonsense. What? I got knowledge. You got a bunch of nonsense. Moving on. But when you learn to meditate in the discipline of Maya philosophy, this is a whole new philosophy for self. Remember, everything Maya giving you is for what? Self-mastery. The whole goal is to get you to master yourself. Be your best self. Okay? So, in this world, searching for oneself in the physical world is what we call the pursuit of an illusion. This is temporary. I want to be P-Funk for eternity. So when I get enlightened, which I am, when this physical body dies and I go home, that's for eternity. I ain't gonna worry about coming back. No. I'm like, no, it's like crazy. But the idea is to leave the carnation recycle birth and death. Birth and death by how? Knowing yourself, waking up, becoming conscious of who you are. Simple. Let's go. But when the yoga of wisdom, I also practice in action, when it's perfected and mastered, there is an intensification and transformation in your awareness. When you become more intense and aware of yourself and your surroundings, like being Spider-Man, your spider senses tingle when something going wrong. You can sense it. And for every thought and feeling which courses through your mind, you have control over it. Ain't no better thing than having control of what you do with this thing right here. Self-mastery is all about controlling this thing right here. That's what my goal is to try to get you to do. And where we at? Every single action which you perform or contemplate, and every single perception that enters into your mind is at the forefront of your awareness. You should be filtering everything that comes through your mind. Bad out, good in. No longer are you blindly, just following what? Your whims. Oh, I want to go to the park. No apparent reason. Go to the park. Why? I just want to go to the park. If there's no rhyme and reason, I'm not doing it. So that's a perfect example. Your whims or your desires. Some of them good, some of them good, but some are just ridiculous. And you can't just, every time you go by, go with the wind blowing, depending on how you feel. That's no control over one's emotions, No longer do you say or do things, without thinking first. I got to highlight that one. I was just told today in conversation. So the reason why you don't make a bunch of mistakes or errors in your conversation, you think before you talk? But that's me. You should try it, and you'll see a difference too. I don't come out, even when this is live, I ain't pre-rehearsed, this is live, but I don't worry about saying the wrong thing. Why? I think before I talk. You hear me stuttering? I'm not thinking. Mouth going faster than the mind. And I was a kid, I used to stutter because I get excited. And it still happens to today. And I listen to the story of James Earl Jones, how he controlled his own stuttering. I adopted the same philosophy and it worked. Moving on. I didn't go to speech class. I didn't have no speech therapist. I just told myself, before you blurt it out, think about it before you talk. And I've gotten pretty good at it. What the hell? No longer are you a slave or degrade to your degraded and egoistic thoughts and feelings that comes in your mind. And no longer do you feel compelled to run after and to satisfy said desires in the mind. Once you think it and you start acting on it, dun, 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 that's action that you're going to perform, and it's going to come with consequences. For the moment, you might enjoy it, it might be fun, but there's consequences for those actions. Understand that, that's all. And watch this, and the body's responsible. The spirit, the thought process, yeah, but the physical part, the body gonna suffer. The imaginations and fancies of one's mind with respect to objects and people are gradually now reduced. I find less and less indulgement or entanglement, you want to call it, with a bunch of stuff that don't concern me. I'm simplifying my life. I'm taking all the stuff that don't matter, cutting out the fat, so to speak, trimming it down. So just the essentials. You can learn to live with essentials. Some people just, God damn it. Some people just cannot not have essentials. But y'all get extravagant. So understand that. The less you need, the better off you are. And watch this. Now you have no longer will you now what? Pursue, chase after objects to make yourself happy. The new car, the pretty girl, the new guy, whatever relationship, whatever it is. You want to chase after what? That ain't that important to you. When you start becoming conscious, no longer will you search for happiness through what? Relationships with others, buying and purchasing things that's going to make a new outfit, new coat, whatever. No longer will you try to fulfill your needs, your desires of the flesh through worldly things. Now you can back up and start saying, well, I don't need that. I don't need that, none of that. That's change. That's change. That's only, what the hell? Your heart will begin to what? Expand beyond measure when what? When you fulfill what you're chasing that's good and righteous. This is killing me. Living right, doing right, you will be so rewarded. You will be so happy. Why? Because the thing that you chased that didn't mean no good don't give you that, can't give you that. Self-fulfillment, self-happiness, those are things that you can obtain for oneself, not through objects. worship or devotion to the divine, and becoming conscious or using what your wisdom from the experience in action. These are two secure paths for the what? Majority of people. For this reason, the ancient sages enjoined various deities or faces of the divine and various ethical and moral precepts, aka Mayat, in order to allow the masses of people to develop what? Spiritual sensitivity according to their capacity. If you want to be better, you follow the philosophy of Mayat. If you want to do you can join any religion cult you want to follow, and they'll give you that opportunity. But the beauty of this teaching, the Mayat philosophy, is that it is simple and available to what? Everyone. I'm here. Unless you ain't got YouTube, channel, you might not be able to get me, but I'm here every day doing the same thing. That's what I'm saying. But anyone, what? Can practice Mayat or right thinking philosophy. And while performing any other religious practices, whatever else you're doing, wherever they may be, why it don't enhance, stop nothing else you're doing. It's always going to help. It's going to help, not hinder. But in the higher stages of practice, you, the aspirant, will be led to now develop your own identity with what? With God. That's a drop the pen moment. When you and God become one, you've done your job. And after that point, watch this, with one pointed concentration, do right, live right, be right. When this occurs in your life, that's called the awakening. That's called nihas. It's called being anointed. Why? You become conscious of you and God. And when this occurs, there is an awakening. I love it. Of what? Of the mind. Transformation. Your mind just went from, well, I believe in God, but to, oh, I am God. That's gravitas. Now you have what? Self-knowledge. You have reached the level of what? Spiritual enlightenment. You obtained the lessons in life that we all here come to do. You got yours. Never mind your brother, your sister, your mother, father. You got nothing to do with them. Everything to do with you. Trust me. And where we at? One point of concentration. When this occurs, there is an awakening, spiritual awakening of what? One's mind from all of your lower states of consciousness, ignorance, into now a transcendental state of enlightenment. You know. You don't believe. You don't think. You don't wish. You know you and God are connected as one. Wrapping it up, taking it home. I got this in. Mayat shows what is true and what is illusion. This illusion. After this, true. Mayat provides a higher ideal for human existence and the means of what? How to attain those higher goals. Practice the philosophy we lay out for you. I'm here every day, give you lessons. When the mind is trained to follow Mayat, live right, do the right thing, righteous and virtuous, all your impurities caused by ignorance in the mind in which fettered the soul are now what? Destroyed, eradicated, boom, taken care of. No longer an issue in your character. And when the ignorance of one mind is writ asunder, what happens? Through the wisdom of Mayat practicing, now your soul assumes its true position and nature, thereby transcending your Mayat philosophy and becoming what? One with the divine. In this manner, this is the whole goal for Mayat philosophy, to get you to become one with God. In this manner, one having done its cleansing work, it's like a soap. It's rinsing away with what? The dirt. You wash up, lathers up. When the water washes out, all that rest up, now you're clean, you're purified. That's the ignorance rubbing off what? When you get Mayat philosophy in your life, living right, doing right, the liquor of Mayat washes all the nonsense off you. Now you're pure of what? Heart. And Mayat is the means by what? To unite with God. Again, the whole goal for Mayat is to get you to God. And when your practice, watch this. This is the coup de grace right here. When the practice of Mayat, right thinking philosophy, is perfected, aka mastered, what happens? Now the practice ceases, and you now become one with Maya and God. That's a hell of an accomplishment for anybody. And I want all my right thinkers to do just that. Why I did. You can do it too. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go. But right thinkers in closing, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I never know that my right thinkers passed away. Trust me, practice Maya, know thyself, and you won't pass away.